wrong. I need both superior and artery added on to just plain mesenteric. So the superior mesenteric breaks into all these little tiny branches, and each one of these little tiny branches is called just plain mesenteric artery. Okay? And then out here we have a capillary bed, and we know capillaries coalesce to form veins, but normally we color our veins blue, but because this is a very special system called the hepatic portal system, they're injected yellow in your kitty cat. So even though your lab book has beautiful pictures and these veins are blue, yes, they are veins, but in your cats they're injected yellow. And that's something that nobody ever puts together, and that's why we did this diagram. So this really pertains to your cats. But still, what you have to do in your head on page whatever it is in your lecture notes is understand all the structures of the hepatic portal system, and then on the next page, page 151, also understand the lymphatic vessels and which digestive ingredients go into the hepatic portal vessels and which go into the lymphatic vessels. So that's why I want you to have this complete tonight, because then we'll talk, I'll do that in lecture on Thursday night. Okay? So these little veins then are called mesenteric veins. And what's this vessel down here? Inferior mesenteric artery coming from the aorta. I'm assuming everybody knows this is the aorta. This is the vena cava. It's the inferior mesenteric going to the colon. And see, the colon, the small intestine, and the stomach, liver, and pancreas are all digestive organs. So the take-home message is, you notice we don't have any real veins coming off right here by these vessels. That's what I wanted to do in the roadmap pictures too. Instead of dumping the venous blood back into the vena cava and having it going straight into the bloodstream, that would kill us. So the hepatic portal system then shuttles the blood from the colon, the small intestine, the stomach, off to this, through this giant hepatic portal vein. And here I put portal in black because it's just critical that when you name that vessel on your kitty cats, you get the word portal in there. If you just put hepatic vein, you're wrong. Okay, I'll explain why in a minute. And the deal is, the other day I mentioned that the liver has plates of cells called hepatocytes. And in between these walls of cells is a space called a sinus. And so the yucky blood coming from the small intestine would be probably high in sugar. If I had my filet mignon or my prime rib and ate too much of it, it would be high in amino acids, high in fats. Well, actually, no, let me not talk about fats. At any rate, all those amino acids and glucose molecules are in this yucky blood, and that yucky blood is kept separate in this sinus. And these hepatocytes then pull out all the excess glucose molecules, all of the excess amino acids, and then the liver releases them as they're needed, depending on your amino acid level in your blood and your blood sugar level. So the liver has a lot to do with blood sugar. Then what happens, this is the hepatic artery, and the hepatic artery, as you know, is taking fresh blood towards the liver. And so this is how the hepatocytes get their glucose and their oxygen. And of course, they're giving off waste into this blood. So by the time blood goes through that sinus, it's going to coalesce with the yucky blood, and now we've got venous blood. This is the hepatic vein, and so it's just plain hepatic vein without the word portal in it. And I should write up here, I put this asterisk and I didn't get it done. You will never see that on a cat. Because the vena cava actually, the liver would be like right about here, and the vena cava goes right through the whole liver. So the hepatic veins just dump directly into the vena cava, and you never see that without tearing the liver apart. And that would make it very, very messy. It would look like liver pate. Smelly liver pate, not good liver pate. So do you guys kind of get it? And the other thing I wanted you to label for lab is that everybody, these are lymph nodes. There's so much yucky stuff, a lot of bacteria and toxins that we eat going on in our digestive organs are huge lymph nodes. And almost everybody, when I pin them on the lab practical, because they do look about the same size as the small intestine, people will say small intestine. So look very carefully. This is another one of those exams, kind of like the muscle exam, and endocrine and census too, in a way where you need to look really, really careful. So don't be rushing. So do you guys have any questions on this picture? So we've got a superior mesenteric artery, plain mesenteric arteries, mesenteric veins, a hepatic portal vein, a hepatic artery, and then a plain hepatic vein. And this vessel down here we already labeled would be the inferior mesenteric artery. Now I have to take another picture, huh? Okay, well, yes.